Preston. I hope you all are doing very well, and I am so excited to bring you today's video. I know I've talked in previous ones about doing some online racing in Gran Turismo Sport, so I finally figured out how to actually record and export the gameplay. So I have two races for you guys that we're going to be looking at. But first, we come for the racing, but we stay for the fun facts. So the world's first data transmission is complete in 1969. So very good stuff there. Let's jump into the first lobby that we're going to be in. I did a couple of qualifying laps, and you'll see it's good enough for 11th place. Now we're just going to jump to a short warm-up and plow into the back of this Mazda first. And then into this Subaru as well. So 2 accidents in the pit lane already, so we're not off to the best of starts. And this warm-up is just that. It's just to stay in the groove and the rhythm of the circuit. And we get a good run on this Subaru, and I can't get out of the way fast enough, so we've already hit him twice, and now this Audi hits us, so up to about 4 accidents before the race even begins. And we're also going to get into another one here as that Mustang just touches up against us. So this is the Dragon Trail racetrack, and it is one of my absolute favorites in the game. I still haven't quite mastered it, and in fact in the second race we are going to be in the Nissan GTR, as maybe the Corvette C7 wasn't the best choice. So here we are then, Dragon Trail Seaside. This is Group 4 racing, and we're onto the opening sequence there, so the car is looking absolutely gorgeous in that afternoon light. And we're actually going to be a little bit behind that shot here. So before this rolling start, let me just explain this very advanced racing technique. It is a lunging and braking maneuver, and what you want to do is get yourself a little bit nauseated and get the stomach turning. So by extension, that is going to want to make you drive faster and get off the track sooner. But all joking aside, we are off for the start of this race. So qualifying in 11th place is generally not the greatest position to be in for multiple reasons, but a lot of times in this game there's a lot of fighting, especially from the back, as people try to get a better positioning. So we'll have to be mindful of that. And already 30 seconds into the race, we have our first victim who's going off the side. So for this track, it's critical that you carry as much speed into the uphill sections as possible, and you really can cut the corner there. For anyone who's played this game knows the power of the slipstream effect here, and we want to be about 3/4 of a second to the car in front of us to get that benefit, and it just makes us overall quicker and able to get a better run on the cars in front of us. So keeping within the slipstream for now, we want to brake early through this section and try to get the cutback on some of these cars, and that's not going to happen. But also we're pushed aside by this Audi TT here on the right. That is sort of an issue that plagues the lower rated lobbies like this one, is people who sort of have to learn the finer points of racing, including myself also. I'm not perfect, but taking that chicane pretty well. And again, we want to try to be early on the brakes and get a little bit of a cutback as this other Audi TT lunges across like he heard Micro Center just got a new stock of graphics cards. So coming around for the second lap here, we're tucked in behind this GTR. And this first section here is critical for having a good lap. You want to get your line just right, braking right on the 150 board there. And again, we're pushed out of the way by another car coming through on the left-hand side. It's very annoying, but you just have to try to be as planted and as settled as possible and not really let it get to you. Even like this Lancer trying to get past, and now we're pushed again. So just trying to do what we can to not drive angry. And sometimes being hit from behind can actually benefit you, like just there as we warp speed ahead into 10th place. So very close to this GTR here. We want to be extra early on the brakes. Hit it nicely, and unfortunately I'm hit from behind twice there. And for the third time, although that appears to work out for us. But unfortunately, we're going to get a penalty for that. So this chicane coming up, you can take it flat out if you get the line right. And you definitely do that for qualifying, but for the actual race, you want to just back off the throttle a little bit. You're going to lose a little bit of time, but it's better than losing a lot of time by crashing into the wall. So you just want to get through here, and I'm a little bit early on the accelerator there and just trying to rejoin without getting in anyone's way. So the race halfway over now as we're about to cross the line for lap number 3. So car on our right hand side there. We just want to be mindful of where everyone is. And taking that pretty nicely actually. So lap 3 of 4 here, you sort of want to save the fighting for the last lap, as you know, taking the defensive line instead of the racing line, you're always going to concede time to the cars in front of you. So stopping in the penalty zone here. Fortunately, not losing too many positions. Although the car in front of us is out of slipstream range now, so we're going to have to drive as cleanly and as quickly as possible. And this fast, sweeping left, right, left turn is one of my favorites on the track. And a lot of jogging for position here. Gonna be early on the brakes again and try to get that cut back, but these cars too far ahead and we're not going to be able to get in front of them. But we get closer, winding around this chicane for the 3rd time now. So we're going to take that nicely, and you can see this Audi hits the wall there. That is what you want to avoid. So easy to do on this circuit. So we get that, and then we also have the run on this Lancer coming into the final turn. And we take that very nicely planted right on the apex. And we get the inside line there. Now, coming around for the final time here as we're about to start the 4th lap. So, starting in 11th place, we've been a little bit up and down, but we're back in 11th again. So, 10th place still very much on, as we want to just get this turn right up to the apex there, and you just want to power out, and you can use the curb on your left-hand side. So, almost 9/10 to the car in front of us, just at a slipstream range, so maybe we can have a good turn here and get onto the back of them. But unfortunately, that is not going to happen, as this Lancer just again bulldozes their way past. You would have thought I learned my lesson last lap, although I did take a lot of curb there and still plowed through us anyway. So we're just not going to let that bother us too much. Take this section as best we can and try it again to get the cut back here. But as long as we're in slipstream range, we should have a good run on him by the time we get through the chicane once more. So we can use a lot of curb on that turn as well. And again, so important to be on the accelerator as soon as possible. And then just looking up the chicane here, ease off a little bit, and you just want to roll the car through and then get back onto the accelerator here. this Lancer again, we get the run on, and I'm surprised he's not taking the defensive line, and we're just gonna go to the right-hand side. A little bit of slip there, but fortunately we're able to recover and power out. And I'm actually gonna move to the left-hand side, make him go the long way around us, and that secures 11th position for us. So, about 17 seconds behind the leader, although we did have a 3-second penalty. So before the second race here, I'm just going to try to run a qualifying lap in the GTR, see if I can beat my best time. And we are on track to beating our record, as we have a good run on our Ghost from the last lap. But unfortunately, the timer is going to run out before the start of the race. Although a 146.6 is good enough for 4th place in this lobby, for this one we are going to skip the warm-up and go right into the race. So this is going to be the same as last time, although we are going to be in a different car, and you can see it there. My first reaction to this race, I'm not used to being able to see myself at the start, so I thought there was another mint green GTR in the circuit, but that is where I will be starting from. Okay, here we are lined up for the second race, and you'll see again that advanced lunging and braking technique is once again on. So hopefully that will work out for us better this time around, and we can bring home a better result than 11th place, especially starting near the front of the pack. So I've gone with the GTR for this race. As you can see, the 2 players in front fighting for position. Due to the all-wheel drive system, you can just put the power down so much sooner in this car. So taking that turn well to start off, bouncing it out to the outside here, and luckily we're able to get by without any contact. So we're gonna let Infamous here go first ahead. But this Audi's just not having any of it, and we get hit from behind and just punt it right off the circuit. So, not off to the best of starts, and that's why it's so important in this game to not get too upset about things like that. As there's still an entire race here to be had. Again, pushed wide on the left-hand side for about the 6th time now. Those cars are already fighting for positioning. You don't want to fight too much before the last lap. It just loses you so much time early on the brakes there, and you see the cutback here is just going to work as we get past 2 cars here. So up into 10th position, letting the 10s in front of us go first. It's a single file line through here. Once you go 2 cars wide, one of you is definitely going to hit the wall like I just did there. This car ghosting out in front of us comes back on. And you can see how many cars in the first, minute and a half of the race that already have penalties. This Peugeot making a great move on the inside, and a flying car. Who knew? I thought those were still years off. So Mazda looking like they've unlocked that technology here, coming across the line, heading into lap 2. Garner right-hand side. Don't really have the run, so we're going to let him go first. Hit again, and both of the cars overcook it there, so up into 8th place now. Coming up on the hill, want to take a look at the radar, make sure no one's on the side of us before taking that turn, and learning our lessons from the first race. We're just going to park it right there up on the apex. Slipstreaming the cars in front of us over to the left-hand side, get that inside line. So one of the keys to this game is certainly positioning, but as early on the power as you can, get the power down. And the slipstream is critical. Once you're out of the slipstream, you just lose so much time. Push a little bit from behind there, recovering nicely, getting that cutback. side by side with this car. We really have the line there. Perhaps I should let him go through. But we're going to be battling a little bit later in the race as it starts to get more towards the fourth lap here. So, not really worried about going defensive here, taking the full width of the track right on the racing line. You always want to be on the racing line if you can, and in fact, you may not even want to defend so early in the race, especially if you can get someone slipstream with the car in front of you being so far ahead. You can use them almost as a slingshot sometimes. So we're going to get early on the brakes there. The car on our left there looking up the inside. Not going to happen. Unfortunately, they do back out there, but they are right on our bumper. So this is what you want to do. Park it up on the apex again, but this car not having any of it. So, trying to stay composed here, even though we're hit. I've lost count at the number of times that there's been contact, but you just want to keep them in slipstream range. So fortunately, we're still able to do that here, and this GTR was a good top-end speed, so we should be able to catch back up shortly. Taking this turn very well, early on the power when you can, especially with traction, all four wheels. It's just so much better. Into the chicane once more, winding around. You want to get as close to that left-hand side wall as possible without hitting it to get the maximum speed out. Reeling him in. Early on the brakes, try to sweep around the outside, but the move wasn't quite on. And fortunately, we're able to get the cut back, but you can see the car next to us just really accelerating well. I'm surprised it's faster than the GTR. So we're just going to tuck in for the final lap. This Brazilian here with the livery. Great color scheme too. I quite like the way that it looks. So he's going to slip on the gravel here. We're going to try to look up the side once more, but you can see just how much more powerful that car is in a straight line. Very surprising. So taking the turn well here, learning our lesson from the previous lap, really committed to that defensive line here. And since it is the fourth lap now, we're going to defend as much as possible. And we're going to lose some time, but with second place being over 4 seconds ahead, we're not going to catch him unless he has a horrific accident. So, turning our attention to the car behind us, as that's more of an immediate threat. So you want to take it. The car, once again, powers through the curb there. Use as much of that curb as possible without going over the track limits. Very important again to know your track limits. Being a little bit cautious through the chicane there. But the car behind us out of slipstream range, we are still going to be mindful of that though. Not take the defensive line, looking on the radar. You want to be on the inside line of that apex. And take the shortest path to the start-finish line as you can. So, much better result there in the GTR, third place. Still quite a ways back from the leader in the TT, who was very quick. The TT is actually a very difficult car to drive, a ton of understeer. Once you get on the power, especially in the corners, the car wants to just straighten up. Very difficult to control, so you're always better going with what car you're more comfortable with, even if it is slower. So there we are, racing one position with a clean race there. Starting off a new clean race record of 1. My record, I believe, is 8 in a row. So that is going to bring us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this one as much as I enjoyed making it. And I will see you all again with another video very, very soon. Take care, everyone.